What's up, guys? My name is Nikon from the First Bytes, and today we're looking at Razer's BlackWidow Ultimate Gaming Keyboard for the Mac. So this keyboard is a pretty hot item. It has been selling frequently, as many people have been starting to realize that mechanical gaming keyboards do help a lot with typing experience, especially if you type a lot. So this keyboard I got for about 140 bucks from Micro Center because there was none in stock on Razer's website, and I did not want to buy it on Amazon because it was actually selling for more than MSRP. So some features here we see are mechanical keys, faster response because it is a gaming keyboard. We also see the macro and function keys added on, which is a custom from Razer. We see the custom green lighting from Razer for the backlighting. And we see that it is actually pretty dirty looking at the bottom of the keyboard. And that's about 2.5 weeks of use, which also allowed me to make the perfect review, and you guys can see how long I've been using it and judge on your own if that's enough time or not. But it is dirty for some people, so it might be a problem for people who don't have their keyboards hidden under their desks. So you might have to clean it once a month depending on if you are OCD or not. But it's just something I wanted to keep in mind for the viewers out there. So now we can see it is a Mac layout on the keyboard. The command and option keys are right there, but the function key is moved over to the right in order to add the macro gaming key in. And that actually causes a problem with dictation, because then you won't be able to use dictation double clicking the function key. It will have to be used with the different key like a command key. No matter how much work I try to put into fixing that, I was not able to get it to work. So clearly the function key might be a problem for some people. If they use dictation a lot, they'll probably have to memorize a different key if they're going to get this keyboard. So I rarely see myself using these new function keys that you see here. I guess I'm not a hardcore gamer, but the programming and work is just useless for me to spend that amount of time programming all 10 extra keys on the function keys. I feel like Apple added the right amount of function keys already, so I didn't bother making that, but it might be helpful for the people who need it, and it's something nice to have just around. So you saw the thickness and Razer's logo. The keyboard is really nice because the keys are slanted with the perfect amount of room in between, so there's never no mistypes. And you can hear here that the keyboard does get pretty loud, and it might bother some of your roommates if you do have roommates or someone across the room if their door is open. But usually it doesn't bother people. I don't get bothered, but if you do have to worry about that, you can get the silented version, which is called the stealth version. So it did take me about 2 weeks to get switched over from a laser keyboard to a mechanical, but I promise you I won't switch back because this is so much more of an immersive experience. I feel like I'm getting a lot more work done, even though it's just a psychological effect. So let's go to the problems with this keyboard, because there were a lot for me. As you can see here, the keyboard can become dead at some points, where it's like basically nothing works. You can see that the brightness keys don't work. Only thing that works is backlighting, because that's programmed into the keyboard itself. So it took me about 2 hours, 3 hours to understand that I had to reprogram the brightness keys because they switched over from F1 and F2 to F14 and F15. And since the function key didn't even help me, I was just stuck in a big mess. And about after 3 hours of figuring out what my problem was, I realized that I had to reprogram all of the brightness keys, which was not fun for me at all. So the media keys didn't work. The F13 through F19 are useless, but what is helpful is this macro key and the numpad that goes with it. Sometimes we'll see that I need to use math on my keyboard for a calculator, so the numpad does come in handy. Even if it's not going to be used often, it's a nice feature to have. And we can see here that the keys are pretty indented. And let me just go into the macro key gaming real quick. The macro key helps if you have to do some pre-recorded functions. So if you ever need some type of gaming keys set up so it does it like on its own every time you click it, it is pretty helpful to have, but I don't see myself using it besides gaming. So here we do see the wires. It is really annoying. The USB pass-through and microphone pass-through are terrible. I would never recommend anyone to use them. I could never get the USB pass-through to work because it was just so low powered no matter where I plugged it in. And then whenever I plugged in the audio jack, my Mac would be muted despite what I wanted to do, which is really annoying. Even though I tried to get rid of the audio jack, I could not get my Mac to make a noise, so I had to restart my whole computer. So basically those two functions are useless. I wish Razer thought this through, But looking at the program, we can see that Synapse does work well. It does not crash. It is easy to program stuff. It's not hard to learn, which is good. Now, looking at the pricing of the keyboard, I think $140 is a lot more than needed to buy a keyboard. Especially as a student, I don't see this worth it at all. I would just rather get something cheap or get the $70 version, because these added functions are just gimmicks to make you pay almost double the price of the $70 version of the keyboard. So if you do happen to pick up this keyboard because of the features you saw in here that you would like, please go ahead and pick them up. It's not a bad keyboard. I'm going to use it for the rest of school. But one thing to keep in mind is that this keyboard can have problems, and a lot of problems that you won't expect with a normal keyboard that you might have to fix. So this was Nikon with the First Bytes. If you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And also please visit our website at thefirstbytes.com. Thank you.